Hello class. Today we're going to learn how to round decimals. I know last week we covered the rounding whole numbers, and this week we're going to move on to rounding decimals. So it's going to be a little bit harder, but I think you'll all get it well. So first of all, I wrote up here on the board rounding rules. So if we can get our math binders out, we can go ahead and take these notes because they're going to come. You're going to find they're going to come in handy whenever you need to refer back to them or anything like that. So let's write these down. And on number 1, we're going to write find the place value. So first we're going to find the place value you want. So in other words, we're talking about find the rounding digit. So, okay, and we're going to look at the digit to the right of it. So, on number 1, you can see we're going to find the place value, also called the rounding digit. And when we find it, you want to look to the number to the right of it. Okay? So that's number 1. That's rule number 1. On number 2, we're going to write down if that digit is less than 5, if that digit is less than 5, do not change the rounding digit. Do not change the rounding digit, but drop all the digits to the right of it. But drop all digits to the right. Okay, so number 2, if that digit is less than 5, do not change the rounding digit, but drop all digits to the right. So there's step 1 and step 2, so we need to get that copied onto our notes. And after we get that, we can move on to step 3. So does everyone have this written down on their notes? Okay, so we're going to get this erased and we'll continue with the third and final step. Okay, so moving on to step 3. If that digit is greater than or equal to 5, add 1 to the rounding digit, and drop all digits to the right. So here's the third and final step. It states if that digit is greater than or equal to 5, add 1 to the rounding digit, and drop all digits to the right. So there's the third and final step. So let's just get that copied down. I'll leave it up here so you can get the rest of it, okay? And so Next, I want to give a little refresher on the actual place values and what they're labeled. So I'm just going to come up with a random number here so we can just kind of get a feel for what the names and how they're labeled of the different numbers. So, because I know they get a little bit trickier behind the decimal, but above we should be pretty good on that, but I'll just go ahead and refresh us on that. So, here, this one, what place is it in? That's right, it's in the millions place. So, we can go ahead and write this on our notes so we can get a reminder if we ever need to know what we're looking for and we can't remember what place value or what spot, but we do need to get where we can recognize these and remember them. So this will be the millions, because you read this 1 million, right? So it's the same thing. Okay, and this 3 is actually the 100,000. So let's label that 100,000. Okay, and this 4 is actually the 10,000s. So let's remember that, 10,000. And this 2 is the thousands, because like I said, you read this 1,342,000, so that's kind of an easy way to remember. Thousands. Okay, and this 3 here is the hundreds. So let's label that. The 6 is in the tens place, and the 5 is in the ones place. So we got all those in front of the decimal labeled, so make sure you get all these names down and what they're called. So like I said, you can refer anytime you need to. And so now we're going to go to the 1. The 1, what is this spot called? Right, this is actually the tenths place. So let's label that one the tenths place. And this 4, what is this 4? It's in the hundredths place. So let's go ahead and label that one. And this 2 is in the thousands place. And this 7 is actually in the 10,000s. So this 2 is in the 10,000s, thousandths, hundredths, tenths, and then the rest there. So there's just a refresher on a number, the place values and all that, because you'll definitely need to know that. So let's just make sure we get all those in our notes. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, well, let's just move right along. That's great.